Is
There.
what happened?
All right.
What did you do something?
There's a button on the side. There's a sound that is a tracer.
Put that in your bill for a month.
Yeah, okay, working.
It is working.
All right, thank
Mom
you.
was telling me it's working.
I did, I got
You got
the,
it? Okay, got it. Very
Yeah,
much,
thanks.
guys.
Bye, guys.
All right.
thanks, Nicole.
Okay, the last, vote we have to take on the plateau. Oh, I speak with, Mike Walsh, and he's going to get back to me, but it's going to revert back to what our original. We even get a little bit reduced on that. Because he's, he does a lot of work.
I'll just have to. Submit that in writing, so we can-
Absolutely.
So yeah, we can't vote on it if we don't have an actual amount.
Correct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so that'll have to wait.
Right.
So we could table that until next meeting.
Okay.
Vote on that once we have it in writing from them to vote on it.
Okay.
Okay,
That's good.
that would, so that's what we have to do then, Jim.
Get another vote.
All right, the next is our OLP, SRO.
So, the only thing that council has for us tonight would just be to approve the modified agreement. And that agreement that was sent back from, the diocese basically just allows, lays out our agreement, allows the chief to schedule, speaks about the hours and the pay. So as the council goes on, and bring it back to the diocese for them to sign, then we can vote on that, approve it, at the next meeting. Again, they are looking to start this, agreement and kind of working relationship as of tonight for the next school year, rather than kind of coming in tail end of this school.
Memorandum of understanding right now.
So there's a memorandum of understanding. We have not signed it. They have signed that in, understanding. And then there's this, is proposal that spells out the agreement that we have, that allows the chief of police to dictate the hours and time so that we're not bound. In the event that the Clark Summit Police Department is short-staffed for any reason, we can pull them out. Have the street,
We'll make a motion to execute the Our Lady of Peace School Resource Officer Memorandum of
Okay,
proposal.
thank you, Bob. Do we have a second?
Second. Go ahead, Steve. Second.
By Steve, question? All in favor? All opposed? Favors have it. Opposed. Next is our Grove Street sidewalk. We discussed this last week.
So I've not heard back from the school district again. It's the same issues that they've raised throughout the winter months here. So hopefully we can reach back out in the meantime and try to get something. Again, the pushback was both sides of the Grove Street Bridge, as well as them being short staffed to do the work at the city. So it's something that we can kind of talk throughout the summer months here. See what kind of unit comes up.
Okay. And that's basically snow removal is the big issue there, right? That-
Yes, snow removal, and I know at the south side of the bridge is more pressing matter.
Right, yeah.
but we can speak for next month here and see if you're willing to assist us to get the bridge off.
Okay.
Feel free if you need to loop me back into that correspondence, since I kind of got that started with Dr. Schaefer. I'm happy to
Sure,
come back in and try to.
I'll copy you on the future ones, that way, if there's something you guys talk about that I'm not privy to, that out.
Right. He's great to deal with too. He really is. Next is our police regional. And we're still waiting to hear.
Well, I did have a couple conversations. I talked to Chief Yarns yesterday. And I've conversed with John Ambrose, and basically, I think the chiefs did meet. they discussed some things. I think we just kind of need to pull some information together, sync with you and Joanne to put some numbers against some of those things, and then we can have a meeting to discuss the substance of it. That's kind of where we're at. So I think that can probably happen in the next couple of weeks. That we
good.
have
Also, Dixon City, they border South Africa. They have a police department and they have a $7.5 million budget. So they have their population is about 5,000, similar to us. But their mayor and their council president are interested in possibly working with them.
Oh, are they good?
So anything, will provide quality service and lower the cost to the taxpayers. Explore. So if you reach out to South Africans if they have any interest in that.
I think based on our meeting, the sentiment was pretty strong that one of the reasons that we didn't get very far last time is we had too many municipalities and we needed just to kind of rein it in, two of us. And in the end, if Park Summit and South Abington Township don't agree to do something together, nothing else can happen. We could not independently really do something with Dixon City because we're not contiguous. So my feeling is that we keep focused for now on South Abington Township. And if that progresses to a certain point, we could look at then holding something onto that. But if we can't progress to that certain point, it's kind of a moot point. That's my feeling.
Yeah, maybe you could just explore it because I think there's the difference between Dixon City and in places like Newton or Glen Burns, that Dixon City actually has an police department. So they're suffering through the same problems that we're suffering through in South Abington. So they may be a little bit more receptive, they may be more willing to work with us.
I think it might be worth, I don't want to put words in the chief's mouth because he's not here, but I did have a conversation with him where he was aware that they had reached out, and I think he had some opinions on that. And again, I'm not going to share what his opinions were because I don't want to paraphrase his words, but it might be worth soliciting the opinion of both groups about what they would think about that possibility as part of the consideration process. I don't think we want to discard it entirely. I just think it's a secondary matter, the first matter being us in South Abington Township.
Yeah, but it doesn't ask to see just to see if there's any interest. If there's no interest, then there's no interest. We can explore the possibility.
I think we could socialize it. I do think the last time we kind of, some folks felt like we were biting off more than we can chew, and I don't want to see us repeat that mistake.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I actually do think like too much can be counterproductive. So I think we can. I don't know if Dixon City has conveyed that just to us, or if they've also done it to South Abington. But we certainly should share with South Abington that they have expressed that to us, so that they're aware. I don't think it's going to be something we look at in the short term. Just being realistic.
I'm not sure if they've expressed it to South Abington. I know they share the same solicitor, Bill Jones. So he's expressed it to me that they're interested in that. So I would just think it wouldn't hurt to follow up.
Yeah, I'll raise that next time I have a conversation.
Okay, the next is American 50s. Is that our Liberty Bell that
Yes.
we'll be discussing? So we do all the details on that with Scott Nichols. That's moving in an excellent direction, so we do the unveiling the Saturday before Memorial Day. We're just waiting for time for Mike to so that I told him as soon as we get that information, we can upload to them. So, and they'll also get it probably too. So.
And it's not going to cost. It's going to be funds raised. It was a $1,000 grant from Lackawanna County, so it's not going to cost the borough. It's terrific.
The only thing Archie did, he has a bill that he bought his diesel fuel and for his equipment where he went and picked up all the stone and all that. And I said, he wanted this for a project that's probably close to $10,000. Even $60 on our end, I don't think, I certainly wouldn't get that. I think that the tremendous amount of labor that's been put into this too. So,
Should, given that we were saving quite a bit of money we budgeted for taking care of the clock tower over here, we could,
Yeah.
in case we have some extra funds. Should we, however, have submit us those receipts and then consider that next time? Yes, given it's not budgeted. Let's ask him to do that back then.
yeah,
Put that on the agenda next time, and he may well between now and then anyway. But, have us think about.
okay. I think it basically sums it up as far as this expenses go. Okay, next is, the 2026 pay bill.
The
Pardon?
bid.
Yeah,
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Yes, we got the go ahead from our engineers to take the lowest bid from the paving.
So it's been reviewed and approved by the borough engineer and the bidder's name, and what's the amount?
It is, Safersky paving. The
Right.
bid is $183,957.
What was the amount we had budgeted just again?
A little over 200,000.
What's that number?
183,957.
I'll make a motion then that we accept the bid.
okay, do we have a second? Thank you, Kathleen. Question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Favors have it, 5-6. The next is our police chief. And we just got his complete resume here. This was one question that Josh had. We did look that over. Jen, you had a lot more information too, as far as his application.
We have his original application filed, but he gave us the letter of interest.
Right, and personnel, we did interview him, and it went. I think he's extremely qualified. He went over every aspect of the police department, that, everything that has been moving forward, he's been involved in. So I feel that we can just go into executive session and discuss this, or I would feel very comfortable voting on it. What do you think there?
So I think, is it the recommendation of the personnel committee that we move forward with him as
Yeah.
a new chief?
Yeah.
I mean, I think then what we need to do is we would need to negotiate a contract. And so I think if we take any action, it's probably to authorize the personnel committee to negotiate a contract, which we would then consider at our next meeting. But I don't think, absent having negotiated a contract, I don't think we can do much about that at the moment. That's my feeling. I don't know what.
I would agree. I think that the personnel committee can be authorized to negotiate a contract. And that contract is approved, as well as if there's a motion to appoint him, that can be done simultaneously.
And I guess like salaries and matters like that, is that something we should discuss in the executive session, or is that something?
Yeah, that should, anything related to the hiring or promotion should be discussed within the executive session.
Or potential regionalization. I think that's a contractual matter we need to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of factors that go into a contract for a police chief that we can discuss. in executive session if you want to go into that after the meetings this evening or whatever.
So do we have like that executive session, then come back and vote to negotiate a contract with them, or something?
I think if there's a motion this evening, you can have the personnel committee begin to negotiate a contract, bring to council at the next meeting to approve a contract and be a potential hiring.
But we could do that now, have an executive session at the end, because really a motion to authorize the personnel committee to do that doesn't bind us to anything.
No, all it does is allow the personnel committee to negotiate. There's no motion to appoint, there's no motion to agree to a contract. There's no contract yet. we can enter into executive session to discuss any potential hiring or contractual issues with that position.
So should, we can go into an executive session at the end of our meeting tonight, do you think?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, if you
Because then we
Councilman,
can- know all the information.
Yes.
Perfect.
Well, I'll make a motion then that we authorize the personnel committee to negotiate a contract with Kevin Newhouse to serve as our chief of police.
Okay,
I'll second.
question? No questions. That's great. I was going to go into executive session with this also.
Well, to discuss some of the particulars of the contract.
Exactly.
Right. You
Okay,
want to call for the vote, Bill?
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We just have it 5-0. Next is our Center Street easement.
So this is the resolution that needs to be voted on when the engineers submit the grant.
Right, and the grant is due at the end of the month, right? So
To at the end of, right, so.
So- it's to report on it tonight.
Correct.
Yes.
And you actually could do it with the mental council. So you met with all the residents. It seemed like there was
We met with 7 of the residents. We're now waiting for an agreement for them to send the agreements back. We did not have to get easements yet from the residents, as long as we have these signed agreements from the residents. With a good faith effort, but I'm waiting to get those back. So the engineer and I are in communication.
this is a
We're hoping.
$300,000 grant.
It is that we would pay 15%. We would have a 15% match, but this would be a really great project for our MS4 program, and that Center Street Creek could use some work.
We submitted last year and it was just we didn't take care of
Yeah.
the residents, but we get that squared up.
But that's what we've been working hard on that. So it's just a matter of people getting back to us. So we hope,
Sure.
fingers crossed. But the residents we spoke to seemed to be in favor of the way we're moving forward.
That's always a good direction to be going. Thank you.
So I'll make a motion to execute the documents for the Center Street Creek easement grant resolution.
Thank you.
Is that specifically resolution 2026-09?
Yes.
I second that.
Okay, on the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, favors have it. The next is our shade tree for Gary Rosman and Ring.
Furtado.
Yeah,
Gary as the chair and Aaron as the alternate.
great.
We would need to vote on that.
Do we have a motion to have them come on board for shade tree?
I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Kathleen. Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Steve. On the question, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, favors have it 5-0. The next is our solar light crosswalk engineering quote.
We've got good news. This is the engineering quote that we received. Very conservative quote from Neely. We're approved to move forward with this process. So there's some of the paperwork here. It's like about less than 128,000 is what's estimated for the work, but this would be with CDBG money. And the estimate from Colwell Negley is 13,900. As I said, it's very conservative, and we did budget for 2026. We did budget 9,000 for it. We could easily come in at much less than the 13. They put that out there just in case.
Okay.
What they suggested is if council wanted to move forward with this, we could do this in steps, because there's going to be the survey that has to be done first, and then the design and permitting with PennDOT could take a while. Ordering the equipment could take a while. So it wouldn't get done this year, but we could start the process this year. And if we found that the engineering costs were, anything over the 9,000, we could always budget that for 27 if we wanted to.
And given that we budgeted 9.
Yes.
Their total is 10,400 to basically get us to the point where we're ready to go out to bid.
Yes,
And so that
it's
could
covered
well happen
essentially.
budget for next year.
Right.
And, okay, so
And also, Bob wanted to make sure that council, we knew what we were getting into with this, with how extreme we want the crosswalk lighting. They actually did, if you know the University of Scranton,
Right.
I don't know if that's, everybody knows, I mean, it's, it's pretty impressive. He's asking, does council want something like that, or do we want to bring it down a level? So he was gonna give us some information about that, so I can share that with everybody, so we know what we're getting.
I think as visible as possible.
And grant monies can be able to pay for the entire project. The only thing we're gonna have to pay for is
Engineering
fees.
costs.
That's the only thing coming out.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
Why don't we see what the costs are? I don't, you might as well look, ask, you know?
well, that's what this
I'm
is.
asking how much it's gonna cost.
We have it, we've got the cost, and it's gonna be paid for with CDBG.
No, I'm speaking of the type of, lighting.
Oh, okay. Well, what they had proposed is, that's what this amount is for. What was
So
proposed.
is the action that we would potentially need to take to authorize Niggly to move forward with the topographic survey of the design and permitting?
I'd like his opinion too, being that I understand the brightness, but it is a smaller town. Like the university is a big university, so
Right.
I'd like to hear the options too.
He said that he would let us know if council is interested, he would let you know,
Great.
what the options are. But yeah, but it would be, we do have the money covered with CDBG. We did, budget for 9,000 of this, which would take the first 2 steps here, so
So what we need to do on tonight is to allow Caldwell Magley to
begin the process.
begin the process.
Okay.
We'll make a motion to allow Caldwell Magley to begin the solar light crosswalk project.
Okay, do we have a second?
second.
Thank you, Steve. A question? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Papers have it, 5-0.
Can I make one more comment about CDBG as long as we're on that topic? Just as an update, the other 2 projects that we had previously committed to over at Hillside Park are both out to bid right now. Mark Spatz is gonna plan to come to our work session to give an update on that. We are gonna have to have on our agenda for June. The bids will be done by then, and the county will have prepared the agreement that we will need to approve for each of those projects in June, so that everything can proceed. It's gonna have to happen at that June meeting so that all the work can get done, so that funds don't expire. So just
Yeah.
preparing everybody for that. Mark is gonna come, kind of give an update. I think he's gonna talk to Joe Ravinsky about potentially coming as well to our work session.
Okay, you got it. And
on
then
the
the vote,
June
June
agenda,
3rd,
we
isn't
would need to be prepared to vote.
Okay. The next is, section 504 resolution.
So this, we have to appoint a, section 504 officer. This came from the county. Essentially just any person who is subjected to discrimination can file a grievance to this officer. So the first step would be the borough appointing officer that we spoke about last week. The next step that we can discuss at the June meeting would be adopting an ordinance or resolution, specifically outlining the grievance procedure that the borough will have in place for this officer.
Okay.
A form or something like that.
There's forms and there's templates that I already have the procedure drafted. It would just have to be voted on at the next meeting. The first step is just appointing the officer. Once that officer is appointed, I can put that into the procedure with the name, email address, everything, so that those can be voted effectively addressed.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything with that tonight, then, right?
There has to be a motion to appoint. The first step is a motion to appoint an officer. Last week we spoke about it being Jen, because that was
Sure.
our building all the time. So
You're okay with it?
I'll take time off the scooter.
You can do it while you're on the.
Yeah, while I'm on the scooter, efficient, efficient.
What would you recommend with the-
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to approve Ken Bachelet as a section 504.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. On the question, all in favor? All opposed? Favors have it, 5-0. The last is our PSAB delegate. Shields, you're going to the convention already this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so, we would have to vote then for you to be our delegate, so that you would be able to vote
Yes.
down in here.
The only people who can vote are people who are at the
Exactly,
meeting.
yeah.
And I understand where he's coming from. The only person who can vote, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I've gone to them in the past and they do have great. I actually was going to go this year, and I did have a conflict, so. But, since you're gonna be going, we can vote tonight to have you as our delegate, and you can do our voting for us down there. So do we have a motion to approve Bob Shields as our delegate for the SAB convention?
I'll make the motion to approve Bob to represent us at PSAB.
Thank you, and second by Josh on the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, Bob, have a good time on that trip, y'all have a lot of fun
Very
too.
informative, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Nothing under business. Report.
Everything is good.
May I ask you a question on,
Sure.
on this part? Going back to the open container ordinance. Do you have any opinion on the sufficiency of the existing one? Because there are some differences. There is, in the one that we drafted, there is a provision for an exception for an event, for example, which is one of the things that I liked about the ordinance as it was drafted, is that it would give us the opportunity to grant such an exception if we thought it was worthwhile. There is nothing like that in the existing one on the books. The other major difference is the penalty. It's actually kind of funny that in 1983 they levied a penalty of $300, which inflation adjusted is like $1,000, and now we drafted ours at $100. I just wonder if you have an opinion on the sufficiency, or if we ought to consider replacing it.
So I mean, certainly the event issue, I'll double check and look through this, section 401 here. There's no other comments, it's the one page. I have not seen anything else with this. This is what I saw with it. I can certainly review that, get back to you at the next meeting, but I think certainly the permitting for outdoor events would be beneficial for the borough, especially with the 5K run that we had coming up, for example, things of that
Exactly,
nature. So you don't want to see like a selective enforcement of that provision for doing that.
right.
I think it's worthwhile to consider an update to it for that alone. It gives us a mechanism to deal with that. Sure. So anyway, maybe that's the best thing, is if you can.
I'll review that provision from 1983. I'll make sure that it has not been changed at all. There's been no revocation of that ordinance in any way. Since it is from almost 40 years ago now. Or 40 years ago, back then.
Oh, sure.
We'd want to from that original, would we just have to revise current ordinance, or would we actually nullify that current one and vote on it?
They'd likely have to be voting on a new one to amend that essentially. So if we were going to include different subsections, that would essentially be an amendment of that previous one, revoking that one and getting this new ordinance in place for every section.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, very good. We've had no correspondence.
We do, we have correspondence. I apologize. I didn't put the name on here, just the last, page in your packet. Just, it's just about the Depot Street, about the pocket park. And, they just want to see, improvements being made, but if you want to read over it and give me your thoughts or see if you, where you want to move forward with this.
Who is gonna take point now on the plans for, I think Barry's point about the proper sign is a good one. I think, there's a lot of ideas about beautification and a bench and all these things. Who's taking points on that?
We had talked to, I sent an email to Adam Perez. With, they do landscaping. So I had an email sent out to him. I don't know who the point person is on this. I mean, if you want me to be the one who gets designs from Adam to propose them to council, I can do that, forward that. Craig DeFazio in his email said that they are looking to donate money to the park for some beautification. So, I mean, I could be the point person on that, with emails and just give council updates if you'd like.
Yeah, I think just bringing all these moving parts together in
Sure.
a coherent plan.
Right.
It's
So I'm talking to everybody through email, so I mean, that's fine with me.
The group from the gathering place that was here last
Absolutely.
week, too, they
Absolutely.
should be included.
Absolutely. The master gardener. And they put a lot of time and energy in there every year in that park. So if everybody works accordingly, I think we'll be okay. So
I think it's may have been mentioned before, but I mean, after this, I feel like we would get happy with the resolution
I
tonight.
think so.
Maybe we could do something for September 11th, 2026, being the 20th anniversary.
I definitely think that would be a very
Trying to
appropriate time.
dedicate something over
It's
there.
the 25th year, and I think a beautiful dedication to the memorial would be in place there at that time. And,
The, not request that, but they said that would be something.
It would be okay.
Yes, that's something that they would like to see, to have it planned for that date. So if that's the case,
That's a good goal to work toward.
And we're also working with Adam Perez as far as landscaping, but he's done it. He's really super busy.
I'll try to get Adam with the gathering place, get everybody on the same page.
And I
That's the
think
best idea.
in part, I know several folks have committed to providing some funds, but we need an estimate for the work that we need to plan, an estimate for what we're done, know what gaps there might be in funding. Obviously, we have a little bit of money left over from what we budgeted that we might be able to contribute if council decided, but I feel like that's all of the detail now that we need to get into.
And I'll get into it.
Thank you.
My-
So we've had no executive sessions. During and subsequent.
We are gonna have one
April
subsequent.
1st. We're gonna have one tonight, though, right?
Correct.
All right. Okay, so
Is there any reason, would it behoove us to recess rather than adjourn, just in case, whether it's something related to, like buying ourselves an extra week to do something over on the Decker property, or any of these things would be beneficial? Or do you think we're?
it's up to council. I don't think it hurts to adjourn, or it doesn't hurt to adjourn.
Sure.
If you want to go into recess, you certainly do that, but I don't think it's gonna really matter as far as the timeline of the Decker property.
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough. Well, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
that would be a good headache off their shoulders, and
Second.
when it's finally completely done, So, okay, well. we're adjourning, just going to
Adjourn, move into
executive
executive
session.
session.
Yeah, let me shut everything off.
And again, just for the record, we're going into executive session for purposes of discussing contractual issues and hiring and promotion.
We'll budget for
That means
Jen's
you get-
scooter.
I need to go to that.
One of those lights to the top of the helmet for you.
Lauren, is your regular season over?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Fine.
Okay.
What are you gonna do about Ken?
It probably is.
What are you gonna do about
Actually, I don't know. I mean, that's what makes sense. I don't know, we'll see, yeah.
Well, good luck, Lauren.
Thank you.
We don't see you soon.
That's right, and I think they should update you to investment. Maybe do the best of it.
A nice color. I want a pretty color.
Coins.